and welcome to my favorite House of the Dragon / Song of Ice and Fire / Game of Thrones mystery part 2. Second one. Alice's origins are a matter of dispute among historians in the Song of Ice and Fire. Rumors range from being Lionel Strong's bastard daughter to being his son's wet nurse. And even wet nurse to, like, Lionel himself. She's said to be 40 by the time of the Dance of Dragons, but looks younger. All agree that she dabbled with poisons. That's a fact. What's interesting to me is not necessarily just the mystery alone, which is interesting, obviously, but the Old Nan parallels. Do you remember that? Old Nan is a fixture in Winterfell in the Song of Ice and Fire main series. She's said to have nursed Brandon Stark, but she can't recall which Brandon, only that his mother died in childbirth. Sound familiar? In that vein, I could even draw parallels between Alice, Old Nan, and Melisandre, you know, the fire priestess. We all know now she's using glamours to obscure and obfuscate her age from mortals, but what is her end, and how long has she been there, and did she take other forms, etc.? Next up, we have Hardhome. Now, Hardhome was a settlement to the north of the Wall, and it was the closest thing the North had to a true town. But show Game of Thrones, Hardhome's destruction is a straightforward kind of recruitment ceremony for the undead army made up of whites working for the others. Ice zombies, don't play semantics with me, buddy, alright? The show fucking amalgamated them all together. Anyway. But in the books, the fate of the residents of Hardhome is a lot more enigmatic and horrifying. One of the Night's Watch saw fires so tall that they were convinced the sun was rising in the north. Shrieks heard coming from cave mouths in the area only further deepen the mystery of what horror befell this town. One theory that has been posited is that fireworms are to blame. Fireworms are like worm-like dragon creatures with appendages that can burrow through stone and breathe fire. So, like, basically like dragons, but worse. Like the underground version of dragons, basically. Which suggests to me that there's also a water-based version, but I digress. What happened at Hardhome actually echoes certain aspects of the Doom of Valyria, where we have records of fireworms existing. Valyria met its end in the Doom when every hill exploded with fire that destroyed everything in its path, including dragons. The 14 Flames were 14 volcanoes said to have been kept under control by Valyrians through magic. Why and how the magic controlling these things faltered is unknown. Personally, I think it's totally feasible they just woke up hungry one day, but that's just me. Anyway, I personally don't think fireworms would be able to survive in the north. Just generally, I think that environment has proven inhospitable to creatures of fire, but honestly, I don't know. We don't have solid evidence that there even were fireworms near Hardhome, other than the caves, but theoretically, they are capable of wreaking this type of damage if they were large enough. We also think they can do a lot of damage when they're really small, too, So Arya Targaryen is actually chock full of mysteries, and no, I won't be taking notes on the pronunciation of her name, sorry. One of the more popular mysteries, theories, whatever, around her is that she actually switched places with her more timid twin at a young age, and it's actually her sister Rhaella. Whatever. But personally, I, and probably most people, are more interested in what happened when she rode Balerion, the cranky old dragon known as the Black Dread, to Valyria after the Doom. After a year missing, she returned to King's Landing astride a freshly wounded Balerion, delirious, dehydrated, barely clinging to life. She suffered a prolonged and pretty gruesome death documented by Septon Barth. Aside from his account, and even parts of that were scrubbed basically from history, nobody else recorded what occurred to Arya Targaryen. Smoke poured from every orifice, and her skin cracked and bubbled from these creatures Septon Barth described as of heat and fire. Sound familiar? The creatures ranged in size from very, very tiny to the length of Septon Barth's arm. They had human faces and hands. And they only died screaming, mind you, when the princess was dunked in an ice bath. She died instantaneously and was cremated shortly thereafter.